no 50-50, no RNG substats, craftable 5-star weapons. A usually free-to-play friendly game, Duet Night Abyss, just released its latest trailer and the improvements on display are staggering. It's only been a little over 3 months since its first closed beta test ended, and the visuals have already gone from this to this. But we'll get more into the comparisons later. The visuals were by far the weakest aspect of this game, leading to the devs' promise to greatly improve the graphics along with a slew of other features. Even so, did the devs actually manage to make good on their promises? Huge thank you to Duet Night Abyss for sponsoring this video. Consider clicking my links in the description if you want to pre-register and help out the channel at the same time. I was fortunate enough to get to play CBT1 a few months ago, so I have a lot of things to say about the changes. But first, what exactly makes this game so free-to-play friendly? In DNA, the characters you can obtain are demons called Charons, second-class citizens who are oppressed by regular humans. They're defined by their horns and alien-like features, such as exposed spines, glowing parts, and other strange appendages. This means that you have incredible character designs like Sybil, the first villain you meet, who you'll be pleased to know is playable. Not only just playable, but surprisingly easy to obtain. Duet Night Abyss features a rather unique gacha system that guarantees players will obtain the first copy of any character they pull for. That's right, this game has a 100% rate up. No 50-50 to contend with here. At least, not the first time you get a character. Any subsequent copies of a character will, unfortunately, require you to gamble with the 50-50 rates. Even so, this is huge for any modern gacha game, especially one as expansive as this, and it's a positive move towards player respect in the genre. Meanwhile, the weapon banner also guarantees you the 5-star weapon you're targeting. If you don't feel like spending your precious currency on weapons, you can craft these very same 5-star weapons and even completely max them out just by playing for long enough. If that wasn't enough, characters can equip any weapon in the game, 2 at a time in fact, so they can swap between melee and ranged weapons at a moment's notice. Since characters can share weapons, you'll be under less pressure to pull every single one, especially since you can just craft them anyway. One of my favorite features is that demon wedges, the game's equipment system, is not RNG hell. They have fixed stats, and you can save equipment loadouts. Incredible. I love it when a game respects my time. Speaking of characters, I love them. And not just the playable characters like Hellfire, Psyche, and Fushu, even the NPCs can look pretty incredible. Take Camilla, for example. She's introduced in the story pretty early on, and I am in love with her. She's way too cool to be locked in NPC jail forever, so I hope she gets out one day. I desperately need to see her CBT2 glow up. What strikes me as somewhat unusual in this genre is the varied outfits of the playable ladies. Many games limit female characters' outfits to no sleeves and tiny skirts. And while those show up sometimes here too, DNA fully utilizes long dresses and pants to create a sense of variety that I find to be an absolute breath of fresh air. Hemline diversity is underrated. And if you're fashion conscious like me, you'll be happy to know that weapons are dyeable. In addition, you can equip a range of accessories to each character, and in some cases, you can even remove elements of a character's outfit, such as Berenica's cape. A warning, however, if you strongly prefer playing male characters, this game probably won't scratch that itch. There are some cool male characters you can play as, like Randy, Yuming, and Fantasio, but they're few and far between. On the bright side, you also have the option of playing a male protagonist. Luckily for me, I prefer playing as beautiful adult ladies, and Sybil is right there. The voice acting in this game is also incredible, as is the dark story. The soundtrack is reminiscent of the Nier games, which is always a plus in my book. But I mentioned earlier that players were unhappy with certain aspects of CBT1, and I was right there with them. The game was fun, but something was missing. However, once CBT1 ended, the devs posted a massive list of changes they intended to implement. I'll show them on screen now because there are just way too many to list. A few things mentioned here include streamlining long repeatable quests to respect players' time, being able to spend more Sanergy for multiplied rewards, adding controller support, and enhancing the story and voice acting in various ways. While it's too soon to say whether CBT2 will completely deliver on every single promise the devs made, we can get an idea of their progress from the new CBT2 trailer. Based on the trailer, we can confirm that the following promises were absolutely delivered on: enhanced character model details, refined environments with improved detail and shadow rendering, improved story animations with better lip sync and facial expressions, polished voice acting, and refined character animations in combat, such as this more dynamic ultimate move for Sybil. Given all of that, I think it's safe to say that the devs are committed to their promises, which gives me a lot of hope for the future of the game. We'll know for sure when the second closed beta begins. Back in CBT1, the visuals of DNA were very flat and uninspired. Now, just 3 months later, they have been improved so drastically that I need to show you some side-by-side comparisons. One of my favorite side-by-sides is this cutscene where the female main character and Berenica join powers. In CBT1, they pose back-to-back and glow so brightly they look as though they're blending together. In this new trailer, the camera is focused much closer to the characters' faces, their poses are different, and their expressions are more determined. The effect is much more intense, and the rim lights make the characters look much fiercer. Rebecca's hair is more visible through her jellyfish veil now. The background of her ultimate animation features more details, and the lighting on Rebecca now makes her look like she's actually underwater. Sybil here shows off how much the glows have improved. Not only that, she has much more realistic shadows, and it seems as though her model has been adjusted as well. Lynn's arm and guns are on fire, and her eyes are more detailed. And that's to say nothing of the environments. The DNA X account showed off some comparisons between CBT1 and CBT2 environments, and they are just gorgeous now. There are far more details, such as trees, and the lighting is vastly improved. Fog has been included to add depth. Some areas have been changed to be almost unrecognizable, such as this shot of ruins of the past. Before, the characters and environments clashed with one another. Now, the characters actually feel like part of the world. It's a huge improvement. Did you get to experience the first closed beta? And are you impressed by the changes so far? If you're interested in checking out Duet Night Abyss, you can pre-register and sign up for the second closed beta with the links in the description. Seriously, they need to make Camilla playable.